New South Wales is leading the charge in opening up and getting life back to some sense of normality. 54% of residents are now fully vaccinated and 83% of adults have received their first dose of a corona vaccine. They are the latest figures from late this afternoon. Restrictions will ease significantly on the Monday after the state reaches 70% double-dose vaccinations. And that could be as soon as October 11, less than 3 weeks away. Rob Stokes is the New South Wales Planning Minister. He's got to come up with a creative plan to help the hospitality sector get back on its feet. He joins me now. Thank you for your time, Minister.
G'day, Chris. Good to be here.
What's the go with the crutches? You haven't been on the streets of Melbourne, have you?
No, it's too dangerous down there. No, just went for a bit of a jog and fell over. Anyway, there's more important things to do. We've got a state to reopen and pretty exciting roadmap ahead. People are getting pretty excited about getting out now that spring has sprung and we can open this city back up again.
They sure are. Now, what kind of creative scenarios are you and the government planning for when we get to that October 11 or 18?
Well, look, there's plenty to get depressed about with a middle of a global pandemic, but there is opportunity and there is a silver lining, and there's all sorts of planning rules that we can sweep away to make more opportunities for business to open up outdoors. Some rules that, frankly, may not need to be there at all permanently, but we're going to pilot it in the meantime to open up our bowling greens, our car parks, our pavements, our sidewalks, all of these places to allow more people to wine and dine outside. We know it's a safer environment outdoors, and with limited floor space inside many restaurants and entertainment venues, we need to think creatively and open up these spaces to give these businesses every chance they can to get back to normality and to make the best use of this beautiful Sydney weather.
So does the plan include not only getting people in these open spaces, but maybe getting pop-up food and drink vans and counters in those spaces too? For instance, right behind you in Martin Place?
Yeah, so we've already changed some rules in relation to food delivery trucks to liberalise the rules on those, so they can go to any area that's appropriately designated for their use. You don't need to have a development application or go through a council process to open those up. But specifically, we've been working with the clubs industry, who are saying to us that they've got these vast expanses of car parks that they've been required to provide as a result of council rules. But they're saying, look, can't we use some of these areas to spill out on? And some of them are beautifully landscaped. And in many European cities, when car parks aren't used for car parking, they're used for market spaces, they're used for food and drink stalls. Why can't we do the same here? And the answer is, of course we can.
And so when will you set down the details of that plan? When are you due to do that?
Well, some of it we've already piloted, so we know it worked from last time. We did a lot of this work in the Rocks, and just through a bit of innovation, we were able to come up in a really congested part of the city, an extra more than half an acre of floor area where restaurants could open up and bars could open up. But we're keen to move really, really quickly. Obviously, it's got to go through a cabinet process. The only challenge for us is a good challenge. The opening update keeps coming sooner, so we've got to work really quickly to get this done. We're now anticipating, I think the Deputy Premier indicated that it could be as early as the 11th of October, which was before we were previously anticipating. So there may be a week or two that these new relaxed planning rules won't operate for, but we're aiming to have them well and truly in place for spring and for summer.
Quite an irony this afternoon, as construction workers have 2 weeks off in Melbourne and protest. In Sydney, we're hearing this afternoon that 100% of construction, not 50 as is the case right now, will be back on the job from next Monday. Why the change of heart?
I think a big part is that the health advice determined that it was safe for us to do so, mindful of there have to be very strict COVID plans in place for every construction site. The construction industry in this state has behaved really appropriately and really responsibly. They are very safe sites, and of course the 1 worker per 4 square metre rule continues to apply, mask wearing continues to apply. So there are strict rules in place, but fundamentally we need to get this city back to work.
Now, your three kids would be happy that we heard today about the play date bubble. How will it work and when does it start?
They were thrilled to hear that news because, of course, we've got school holidays here in New South Wales, and that's the Health Minister announced those details this morning. In relation to the specifics, I'd refer you to Brad Hazzard's announcement, but that is definitely in time for these holidays, and it does mean that kids are able to visit households where, of course, they come from a household that is fully vaccinated for the adults in that household, and where the household they're visiting also has the adults fully vaccinated. We are doing everything we can to incentivise people to get vaccinated. Of course, we can't force it, but we know that the quicker that people get the shot, the quicker we're going to be able to open up. It's that simple.
And just very quickly, when we get to that 70% double vaxxed, and for us who are double vaxxed, can we ditch the masks being worn outside? Just asking for a friend.
Look, again, I don't have those details specifically. I do understand mask wearing will continue to be something that we'll need to use in different contexts. But as to 70%, that'll be a matter for the roadmap that's being coordinated by the Premier and particularly the Deputy Premier. But there'll be lots of freedoms, and the short answer is let's just get to 70% and then on to 80%, and let's get back to life as normal as quickly as we can. I've had enough of COVID, and I think everyone else has too.
You're not wrong. Put your foot up tonight. Thank you so much for your time, Rob Stokes.